Now, typically in this portion of the show, I talk about how those on the left have butchered scripture to their own kind of humiliation, and I try to highlight that. But today I'm going to be a little bit more broad, and I want to go to the religion of the left nonetheless, but a religion of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I want to show you how Richard Dreyfuss just recently came out vocally and spoke out against the religion of Hollywood, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially as it pertains to Oscars contention, because just recently there have been some new rules put in place in order for people to be considered for an Oscar. And the story goes like this.
Starting in 2024, films will be required to meet new inclusion standards to be eligible for the Academy Awards for Best Picture. They'll have to have a certain percentage of actors or crew from underrepresented racial and ethnic groups. What do you think of these new inclusion standards for films?
They make me vomit.
Why?
Because this is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. And what are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that. And you have to let life be life. And I'm sorry, I don't think that there's a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that.
Now, before I get to the 4 commandments that were brought to us from on high that you must obey in order to get an Oscar, I just want to make mention of 2 things that Dreyfuss said right there. First of all, he essentially says that morality is not contemporary. Now, I don't know from what basis that he derives that from, but I can assure you that he is correct. That morality is not like a venereal disease. It's just a bad decision that you made in the moment, and then you have to suffer the consequences of it later. Morality is time-tested wisdom that's been brought down to us in the present, which why as a conservative, I believe that the greatest expression of conservatism is and should be Christianity that brings down and conserves the wisdom brought to us in Scripture, because there is a historic and authoritative document called the Bible that we should derive our morality from. Where leftists in Hollywood today derive their morality from, other than feelings, I really don't know. But see, this is the problem. And Dreyfuss will go on to say that regardless of if you're marginalized or you're a minority or you're in the majority, nobody wants to be pandered to and catered to like this. We just want the best things to actually win. So kudos to him for actually saying something that is patently obvious, but still all that much more brave when you realize that things that are patently obvious in Hollywood really escape a lot of people. But here are the 4 commandments that you must obey in order to get your Oscar. Here they go. The 4 standards are described as expanding on-screen representation, themes, or narrative, expanding representation among creative leadership and department heads, providing industry access and opportunities to underrepresented demographics, and expanding representation in audience development. Now, that's the first time I read any of that stuff. And the last one, how do you expand audience representation? Like, are they going to go around checking all the movie theaters and making sure that the demographic is like you have 10 this and 11 that or whatever? I don't understand any of that, but I know what they're after here. At the end of the day, representation is just another name for what they want to do is they want to pat themselves on the back and feel better about themselves for having multiple ethnicities, whether that's in front of the camera or behind the camera. And here's what I have to say about all of that. Diversity requirements are fine for dissertation papers, but bad for Hollywood. I know the heart, and it's partly good. Good in that they want people who don't get a shot to get one. Bad in that they believe that the reason people don't get a shot was because of the color of their skin. Do you really believe that woke Hollywood is not hiring people because they're black? I guarantee you, if you're willing to sell your soul literally and physically, you can get a job anywhere in Hollywood. Now, Hollywood should hire the best person for the job. This is the real point at the end of the day, regardless of skin color. And they should be more concerned with story and the art and not identity politics. As it has become more race-centered, Hollywood that is, it has become more stupid. When Braveheart was killing King Edward, it was great because he was telling us that tyrants can take our life, but they'll never take our freedom. When Russell Crowe said, "What we do in life echoes in eternity," no one cared he was white, even black people. All because writing good material makes a good movie. Skin color is irrelevant unless the character demanded to be a certain race. So what I mean by that is unless you want, black George Washington and white Black Panther, then we don't need to be very concerned with race except when it actually pertains to the roles. All of this merely represents the values of the left on full display, or what you might say is their morality. They place such emphasis on the body because they no longer believe in the soul. Perhaps reclaiming Christian virtue will help us reclaim real morality. And then and only then can we not only regain our soul, but we can start actually making good movies again. Top Gun 2 may have saved Hollywood's ass. But how much longer will Hollywood shake their ass in our face and call that cinematic?
Tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up. Go play okay.
I suspect if we're really going to save Hollywood, we're going to need more movies like Passion 2 and others like it. But for that to happen, we'll all have to start putting our money where our morals are. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also comment below, but most importantly, go with God. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely want to check that out because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.